It's Friday night, time for crafts and pure delight. Paper, scissors, let's get started. With vintage tape, we'll be wholehearted. Every honey deserves her day in the sun. With enamel dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. Glue sticks ready, let's make a plan. Planners in the office, supplies in hand. Honey half-season wins the arrows. Crafting magic like true heroes. Every honey deserves her day in the sun. With enamel dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. Doodads and gumballs, let's create a scene. Join the club where we live our dreams. So grab your scissors and come along. Together we'll craft and sing our song. Every honey deserves her day in the sun. With enamel dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. It's all for you. Slip into jammies, grab something to sip. Stickers and golden scissors, let's take a crafty trip. The playbook's open with listers, got a list. In this crafty paradise, our dreams coexist. Every honey deserves her day in the sun. With enamel dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. It's all for you. Cards and pockets display our creativity. 32-pound paper, so smooth and buttery. Scraps your cards, help your ideas flow. What will you make during the Late Night Crafty Show? Cards and pockets display our creativity. 32-pound paper, so smooth and buttery. Scraps your cards, help your ideas flow. What will you make during the Late Night Crafty Show? It's all for you. It's all for you.
Hello, hello, welcome, welcome to the Late Night Crafty Club and to the back of my RV for some crafting. Hello, friends. Happy Friday, wherever you are. I hope that you're having a good Friday. And I'm so happy to see you for another Friday in a row. We were just here. We had just assembled like a mighty crafty bat team. We were just here last Friday and here we are again. So I'm so happy to see all your little faces as you assemble with our little crafty Wonder Twin powers. Activate. I know some of you are just not up to the crafting because it's been a long week. I totally understand. So the rest of us who have the crafting energy, we will power on without you. And you just sit back, relax, have something to sip. And the rest of us we will craft on, okay? We will craft in your name. So it's officially fall. Yes, it's officially fall. I'm so excited, so happy. When I woke up that morning, it was the Julie Andrews moment. Spinning around. Oh, that's right. I asked Mark, can we take a little walk around the property? And I totally forgot to do it. I feel like I need to walk around and like take pictures of everything because fall is just it's such a wonderful season, but it always feels like it's too short. It's so fast. And I noticed that every time I get in the car and like go somewhere, it just feels like the trees are just turning too fast. There's just too much happening. Today, I went to another doctor appointment and I'm looking around and going, well, the trees are like, they're turning colors. It's only September. Stop. But yes, but they turn, they must. So I am so happy that you are all here, wherever you are in this world. Maybe where you live, the trees are not. You don't have the kind of trees that turn colors. So I shall enjoy the tree turning colors for you. Some of you live in very tree-ish areas. There's just no way to add a Y on the end of tree, is there? Tree-y. That's not a word. So I am going to start at the top of my little chat room, and I'm so glad that so many of you remembered that we had switched. We've switched back to our normally scheduled time. We have switched back to our 5 p.m. time. We had gone to the 6 p.m. for our camp sessions, but we're back to our regularly 5 p.m., which I had been doing for, I don't know, let's see. Okay, I don't exactly remember, maybe not quite a year. I don't exactly remember what month I started up again with the Late Night Crafty Club and being really consistent. It feels like it was around December-ish, November-ish, December-ish, somewhere in there. And then I was, no, it was before that. It was before. I just realized because I remember taking pictures at the campground we were at and it was still hot. Of course, it was always hot, so maybe that's not a good marker. No, I have misspoken. It was actually, I'm going to say it was September. So it has been a year. I have been consistently doing this for a year. And I went back to 5 o'clock because that's just a good time for everybody, because most of you are East Coast. So, but I've said that so many times. I just like to remind everybody. Hello, Sherry. Hi, Bethany. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Justine. Hello, Miss Chris down under. Hello, Rebecca. Hello, Kathleen. Hello, Justine. Hello, oh, I already said Kathleen. Hello, Robin. Hello, Miss Edie. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Laura. Happy birthday to you, Miss Birthday Girl. Hello to Miss Linda. Linda left a little message, I think, the other day saying you were looking forward to it. I love when you guys are so excited that you leave a message in the chat room like a day or two beforehand. That's so cute. Hello, Miss Angela. Miss Grunecker, you should be, at this point, we should not see your face. Camp is over. Terry Duffield, I'm so happy to see you. It's been a while since I've seen your little face. It's good to see you. Hello, Victoria, across the great pond. Happy to see you. Hello, Miss Robin. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Darlene. Hello, Janice. Hi, Stephanie. Hello, Nancy. Hello, Karen. Hi, Susan. Hi, Denise. Hello, Miss Creative Christian. Hello, Ray. Hi, Deb. Hello, Joanne. Hello, Michelle Kingsley down under. Also, Justine down under. I didn't acknowledge our full Aussie team assembled in the house. Hello, M. Bolt from Manitoba, another Canadian, eh? That's 3 Canadians so far. Hello, Miss Margaret. Ye of the Massachusetts, the state of many trees, the state of the trees that turn. Hello, Miss Carrie, my cousin, my dear cousin. Hello, Miss Melanie. Hello, Miss Kelly Anderson. Kelly is the designer of the lovely baubles I'm wearing this evening. My designer baubles. Jelly. Let's see. Hello, Chris, our other Canadian. That is our 3rd Canadian so far. So, hi, Miss Lucy. Hello. I love when you guys sing along with the song. It's so cute. I can tell that's what you were doing based on the little comments you have here. Let's see. Hi, Miss Jennifer Gober. Hello, Lauren. Rebecca says it's hot in Austin. I bet it's actually really hot right now. I have the fan on. It's warm. Yes, Joanne is spinning with me. She's spinning a la Julie Andrews. Hi, Miss Annie. Hello to Kelly says it's not much color in Minnesota yet, but it's coming. Oh, yes. The land of Minnesota. Melanie, fellow Minnesotan. Margaret says it's definitely kicking off here in Massachusetts. Sherry says it's going to be 81 degrees there in the great state of Pennsylvania. Are you in the nutmeg country state, or is that? I'm not sure. Sorry if I'm offending somebody's in nutmeg state. I don't know. So sorry. Are those fighting words? Okay. Let's see. Kim Gardner, hello. Hello to Amy. Hello. Hello to hello, Miss Angela. Again, hello to Dion. Hello, Dion. I'm so happy to see your little face. I'm happy to see your little face. We missed you too. It's good to see you. Yes, Kim, I got the Scooby-Doo shirt on. It's in honor of our song, which the whole video that you guys just watched was inspired by Scooby-Doo. So I got a shirt to commemorate that. I think now we have that song has been in effect for like a year now. Hello, Miss Maria. Hello, Susan. Keystone State. Thank you very much. Keystone. Connecticut is a nutmeg state. Okay, I think that sounds right. And that's your neighbor too, Margaret, right? So that sounds. I'm going to agree with you. Joanne says, Dion, I miss all your beautiful posts. You, of all of the gorgeous, the layers, the many layers, you are so good with the honeys. That is definitely one of your talents, Dion, is showing off the honeys to all of their advantages with the beautiful artwork you did. So we're so happy to see your little face tonight. Okay, so we have some changes going on. Changes. So our Clubhouse has a little name change, and it's getting a little facelift. You just haven't seen it yet because it's all happening behind the scenes. That is one cool feature that Mighty Networks lets you do, is it lets you build things behind the scenes that you can't see. So that's kind of fun. And then what will happen around the 1st is the rooms that you have access to now, and those of you who are in the Clubhouse, those will like quietly disappear, and then all the new rooms will snap open. So it's like shutters down, then everything snaps open. It'll be so fun. So yeah, we have our Clubhouse is actually adopting a name from the past. It's actually one of the names that I had for one of my Facebook groups, which was the Happy Place Club. And that was kind of, if I recall correctly, now I don't remember because I've had so many different little groups that had different iterations. So I think when I first got onto Facebook, there was the Listers Got a List was the first Facebook group in my memory. I could be wrong, but I believe it was. So that was like the big main group, and it was humongous. And then I started like branching off, and I had smaller other groups. So one of the smaller other groups that came along later was the Happy Place Club. And it became an offshoot club that was like, at that time, it was like more of like planners and more of the everything that's not blisters specific. So I just wanted it to be very clear that we're like, this is a happy place. So because many other groups that was just like everybody, it was like more of like whatever goes kind of thing within reason. So I just wanted it to be more like this is the refuge. And so that is what we decided to do, is kind of bring back that name, which is felt nostalgic, which is one of the pillars of the community, which is creativity, connection, nostalgia, because nostalgia is one of the great things that like bonds people together. They're even with all of the different kinds of like things that can pull us apart and dissension and the different little struggles and stuff happening amongst us. Nostalgia is one of those wonderful things that, you know, can bond people together when they have nothing else to talk about. So I just thought that that was a wonderful thread that has just run for many years through my brand. It is very much, you can see that in all of the like the honeys. That was like a foundational piece of design aesthetic that I have always loved. It's what I became known for and like using in my design work and stuff, like how I liked to decorate. I pretty much enveloped them into my stickers and everything pretty early on. So that just is like one of my things. So nostalgia is very much a cornerstone of my brand, the type of decor and the type of style. It's always been very vintagey, very mid-century modern vintage. So yeah, nostalgia is a thing very much to me. So I love talking about nostalgic things. I love bringing it up. I love showcasing it in the events that I do and the products that I have. And I just think it is, it's fun and joyful, and it makes us think about very more positive things. Very much, even it's kind of built into the name. I think when people think of nostalgia, it already has a positive connotation, because nostalgia generally doesn't refer to like the negativity of that era. It's not the depression or the sad parts of it. It generally is that feeling of like, oh, the good old days kind of feeling. So, and it's something that even if you're in different generations, it's stuff that people can still bond over and remember, because you can have shared memories with somebody who is in a different generation, because you still have crossover, right, among different generations, which is nice. So anyway, if you are not in the Clubhouse, this is kind of a great opportunity for you to start pondering that, because I'm about to kick off a really awesome new season, a new kind of project. It is very reminiscent. It's reminiscent of kind of the concept of like what I tried to do with camp, which is to kind of give a collective project for us to work on. I really wanted us to, as one of the things that
it's hard.
Of course.
Yeah, switch to the hotspot. Should be coming back up. And then I'm gonna reboot the router and switch back.
Chris said that he hit like to see if that helped. Chris, thank you very much, because I think you solved the entire problem. Thank you, Chris. You saved us. Well, I was on a roll there. Now I've lost my train of thought. I guess we should just start crafting. At least none of this kind of stuff happened to me when I was in camp and I was doing my live streams. Would you believe it? Nothing happened. I executed perfect live streams during that camp. Because this is the stuff that tends to happen all the time, is this kind of stuff. All right. Okay, back to what I was saying. So I was talking about fall being so magical, and it is the perfect time to what? So I think a lot of us have been kind of trained into thinking about fall as kind of that season where we think about going back to school. It's the season of reading, learning, because of all the years of going to school. I think that really kind of ingrained that. And it's and because you end up spending more time indoors. Not all of us, but some of us do spend more time indoors because of the weather changes. And so it just becomes this lovely season of more being cozy. And, and more people tend to read in the cozy months. So I just kind of always think of it as like the season of reading. There's just a lot more opportunity for reading and little hobbies, and just because it's more indoorsy. So for me, there is kind of this project that's always been hovering in the back of my mind that I have always wanted to get back to. I started one quite a while ago and I just never picked it up again. And in fact, I don't even know where it went. So I wanted, to do something really special to kick off this new Clubhouse, the whole new Clubhouse, the Happy Place Club, and what could we work on as a collective project there and make it kind of the star of my new product, which is going to be the Crafty Girl Play Kit. So the Crafty Girl Play Kit is kind of the core product in the Clubhouse. So if you are in the upper tier of the membership, if you are an all access pass member, this is like the little core content that you are given as your seasonal content. And that includes this little project, the little prompts for the project of little, it's a little package kit. If you choose not to be a member, that is perfectly fine. But I will make the kit available in the shop. It may or may not look different than what members get. I haven't decided yet, but there will be a kit available to you. So that if you wanted to go ahead and do said kit, you can. And it would be something that you could bring to the Late Night Crafty Club, and you could do the project here, which is what I intend to do. So it always gives you something to work on and something that you have all season to work on. So it's like a 3-month, little project that you could contribute to. Now, in thinking of this, that was really the goal, was like my thought was, what do I want to work on for the fall? What feels like a fall project to me? What is something that I would want to spend time doing? And so I thought of this idea because it's something it was like a pet project of mine. I care about it. And so I am really trying to do things that I want to do, that I care about, because I know that historically is how I have been the most successful in staying in the course with my projects, is when I'm very excited about it, and it's something that I would generally be passionate about, and it tends to like spill over into the community. So the thing that I really wanted to work on was a Commonplace book. Now, in the past, when I did introduce this into the community some years ago, I amended it. I called it a crafty commonplace book. So I always refer to it as a crafty commonplace book. If you look on my YouTube channel, I don't even know what year it was. It may have been like 2017, 2016, somewhere in there is, I think, when I believe I filmed videos about it, a video, something like that. But so it was the crafty commonplace book. This time it's the cozy and crafty commonplace book. So this is the seasonal project, and this is what's giving a kind of focus and a kind of collective thing for us to work on in the Happy Place Club. And the reason why I'm sort of redirecting things that way is because what I notice in the camp experience is, when you give everyone a collective project to work on, it just has such energy behind it. Everyone is just very excited. They want to see each other's book. Everybody can learn from each other. Every post is exciting because I can apply that to my book possibly. So it's different than just sharing kind of more of like randomness. And it's not that it's not fun to see peeks into each other's life, because I personally love that. And I encourage people to share little bits of each other's life. But this gives more purpose to what you share and what we're working on. So it makes you feel like you're part of something, which is the entire purpose of the community. And it's something from the beginning that I have always done. And I go back to Lister's Got a List. That was very much the kind of core thing that I had kind of started by accident. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to start that. I was just trying to do something because so many people saw me do the 30 lists project that they did. I did it because I joined theirs, but they only do it once a year, and the following month, that was it for them. They didn't do it anymore. So people in my community were like, "Are we going to do something? Are we going to do something?" So that was why I launched it, and it went. There's no other word to describe it. It went viral because I remember some pretty big people in our community were posting about it. And my newsletter blew up, and my YouTube channel blew up even more. It was all over listers. And it's really funny because I wasn't super passionate about listers. So I learned many, many lessons from that going forward is about what I am excited about. So I hope, I hope that this will be something that everyone is like, "Oh, this is fun. Like, this is fun. This is one of those things when you understand what commonplacing is, which is ages old. This is a super old process. This is hundreds of years old, really. And it is about capturing and curating is the most delicious word. And it's something I am so passionate and love so much. And it's something I do all the time. It is like a core thing I do in this community. And every event, everything I do in the community is curating. It's about like a Pinterest board. It's playlists. It's all those things I love giving you guys and doing for you. It's about curating the best of something and sending it out to you. Look what I curated for you. That's really what I should do with my newsletters. That's what I should do. So in any event, so that's what I was thinking about doing for the fall, is I wanted to do a fun, a cozy, crafty commonplace book. Now, I'm on the fence personally about, do I just want it to make it a fall thing, where my original thought was I wanted to have it be like an ode to fall, like everything in it's all about fall. It's so delicious. And the next fall, I'll work on it just in the fall. So it'll be this fun thing I just do in the fall. Next fall comes around and then I'll add more to it. So it'll be my fun fall project, kind of like camp is your fun summer project. And you always kind of make this fun thing in the summer. So that's kind of where I'm at, is like trying to decide, do I want to add to it each time, or do I want to just make this general commonplace book and I just make it during the fall, but I just, use it all the time. Less magic-y, but it's more functional. So that's where I'm thinking, and you can certainly make that decision for yourself. And then, of course, the age-old question, what format am I going to make it in? What's it going to be? So I have some examples of some cool ideas that I think of the year, but the rest of the time when we are doing other things, fall and winter, or at least fall, tend to be that's a pretty busy season because you're gearing up for the holidays and all of the family gathering season. So that does tend to be busy, although October can feel so delicious at times. You feel like you have all the time in the world, but you don't. But it can feel like that for a minute, that you're like, ooh, this is going to be so lovely. Or maybe that's just me. But it never seems to work out that way. It just can feel like you are about to embark upon this wonderful, cozy, driving in the country to go find pumpkins and watch falling leaves. But none of that ever happens. But any case, I think I've lost track because I just started thinking about long country drives. I distracted myself. The point I was trying to make is that this is a simple thing. So I'm trying to offer a simple, not only to you but to myself as well, something simple. So my approach is going to be very simple. Is like, what format am I going to pick that will make it the simplest way to capture the things I want to capture? It doesn't have to be my core craft thing. Because I actually I just invested money in some mixed media workshops. So I actually am trying to level up, if you will. But so this is about more practical for me, and maybe and some layers of creativity on it for fun. And as I sat down, because I actually do plan on doing a little crafting tonight, but as I sat down, I actually discovered something that might be a contender for my Commonplace book, and it might be one for you too. But hold on, hold the door there. So let me take a sip. Okay. So what was I gonna say? I keep keep losing my train of thought. It just keeps leaving the station. Okay, so I wanted to share a couple things. I wanted to do a quick possible sneak peek tonight. I wanted to entice my non-members to take a little peek at the new platform, which means those of you who are in the Clubhouse, you are going to get a little gander. I'm not going to show everything, okay? But I'm going to give you a tiny little peek at your new entryway, your new entrance, if you will. Also, I'm going to show you a fun freebie that I'm going to be rolling out from signing up for my main newsletter. If you're already getting my regular newsletter, the Cozy Creative, you will get it automatically. But if you are not sure if you are subscribed to my newsletter, there it is right there, the Cozy Creative. It just showed up on the screen. It's a weekly-ish. And that's kind of an exaggeration because it's more like a monthly-ish at this point. I think the last one I sent out was when did camp start? It was in July. That was the last one I was able to send. And then it all became camp. And then I was not able to think about anything else. So I'm terrible, horrible. But I am not the girl that's going to clog your inbox. That's for sure. So if you make sure you're signed up for that, I will be sending this out to you at the beginning of each season. So you will have a fun sheet of prompts, and that will help you contribute to your project. It'll give you like little jumping off points to add little fun things to your pages and kind of like zhuzh it up, more than you might think of on your own. So it's always fun. It's a nice little guide. I personally love a bingo sheet. It gives me direction. It was one thing that I made sure to complete when I was in camp. I brought it here onto the Late Night Crafty Club. So between the bingo sheet, the Crafty Girl Play Kit, and the seasonal project that comes with it, I feel like you'll have something really easy breezy to work on and like kind of prep, because it has a short amount of prompts that come with it, very doable. You could actually kind of do some of these things and have it completed by the end of the season, because we're talking about 3 months and a short amount of prompts. I'm less than 10. So this is about quality over quantity. And it is designed for you to have a like lovely, slow, crafty afternoons. It's about giving you lovely, slow, intentional time with yourself and kind of like thinking through your crafting decisions and experimenting and strengthening your crafty skills, maybe growing, experimenting, all of that fun stuff. So, I think that is one of my big takeaways from camp was that sometimes spending more time doing a really awesome, delicious page was time better spent than whipping through and trying to like create bulk. It's just doing a bunch of fast pages that didn't have as much heart behind them. They didn't have as like good a story behind it. And I think that lesson served me very well, so that when I sat down to do this, I wanted to be very intentional and different in how I created this. And I wanted it to be something you could do during, a very possible, very busy time. And by the end of the year, you might actually have, your book and feel like My book is either prepped, my book is either like it's underway, I added enough stuff to it, I feel like I have it ready to work on next fall, I'll add to it then, or I have it underway and I'll just keep adding to it the rest of time. So those are the two paths one could choose if they would like to join. And you certainly don't have to. This is not a must kind of thing. And that's not to say I'll work on it every single Late Night Crafty Club. I might just, do a couple prompts just to be like, this is what I'm doing. I like to, these days, I like to just go with what I feel inspired to do. So I think that has been serving me well. So one thing that I did during camp or preparing for camp was picking out all my paper, like the papers I wanted to use in that album. And when I did that, I picked out all the paper I wanted to use for the fall because I was sorting through all my paper and getting it all like decluttered and like picking stuff out that I liked. So I have all my fall paper here, so scrumptious. And then I have all of my country living magazines that are all the fall edition that I had ordered from eBay. There was a seller there that he gives a really good discount when you buy multiple issues and free shipping. So I grabbed all the fall issues I could find, and I have these. And then I have my first real magazine subscription, and my first issue was the Country Living Autumn Magic. So they are getting harder and harder to find, is the subscription, like the physical subscriptions. All of these companies are switching over to digital. And even this magazine is only giving you, they're only offering 6 issues a year. So it's definitely shrinking, but there's just something so wonderful about analog magazines and all of the yumminess to like cut up and use. I can't even. So I wanted to have these out with my craft supplies now. I was trying to do like swapping out my summer crafts. I pulled most of it out. I pulled that out. And then did I freeze? Did I freeze? I look frozen. Well, my screen disappeared and I look frozen on my chat. Interesting. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So I haven't completely cleaned up my little space and gotten everything set up for fall yet. I still have some of my summer, my little bin of summer crafts that are sitting up there. So I haven't pulled everything out for I have really been loving this idea of getting kind of curating things that are more obviously summery, like things that have a summer feel that I bought for camp, getting those out and like packed up. So that's one thing that's going out the door. And then in this case, pulling out the things that are intentionally fall. So I'm hoping that that's gonna hold, please. I'm sorry. I have lost my chat room. The reset girl. She is resetting her chat. The reset girl. She talks too much. View my channel. I need your help. Okay. So before I go any further, I'm trying to decide, should I do a sneak peek of the Clubhouse, and then we do talk about the papers, and I show you the little examples of what you could do, and then I'll do my crafting. I asked a question in my chat room. Doesn't work. So in the meantime, I have a disco behind me. We could dance. Oh wow. My chat really is going away now. Okay, let me see if I can Okay, let me see if I can find you guys. The question is, can I find you before Mark gets it up there? I'm in a race. I'm in a race. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, hi, Miss Diana. Okay. Hi, Miss Bonnie. Hi, Joni. Chris, Marco, Polo. Okay. Let's see. Did I say anybody else? Ellen, did I say hi to you? Did you come in after? I don't remember now if I said hello. Okay, so
When this one works, it's the best one to use, so that I have my computer
to
do me things.
To do me things. Okay. If anyone has any questions about the membership or like their subscription, their membership, you should email us directly. That is a good idea. And so if anybody is having any questions about their membership, that would be the best thing. That way we have a way of having a help desk ticket and all that good stuff. Okay. So this subscription for Country Living, they had a awesome deal. It was $14, and that included the digital and all of their back, like all their entire back catalog of magazines, digital magazines, going all the way back to the beginning. So they gave you access to their entire archive, plus physical magazines and all of that for $14. That was crazy. I almost thought like this has to be wrong. This has to be crazy. This has to be a joke. But it wasn't. Hi, Leah. Okay, hi, Birdie. Hi, Sandra. Okay, just making sure. I know, right? It was a good price. Hi, Darlis. Okay, making sure. Just making sure that I got everybody. Okay. For the most part, everyone I could see really fast. Okay. So I'm just going to show. No. Okay. Thanks, Bonnie. Kelly Anderson made these. She made them in one of the camps, and it was for one of the classes. I asked her if she would make some jewelry, and she made these fabulous beads, and she sent them to me. I ordered something from her store, and she tucked them in there because she knew how much I loved them. So I love them. Okay, so we're gonna do a quick little look. So just remember that this is the new Happy Place Club, and right now I'm just showing it's the new header, which current members can see, but then I'm going to show you stuff that they can't see. Okay, so there's stuff that is like hidden right now from everybody. So right now is our brand new header, the Happy Place Club. This is your cozy online home for creativity, connection, and nostalgia. So that is like our core mission. And I think that really describes the Reset Girl for a very long time. The Reset Girl brand has very much, I think that's been what it has stood for. So I just wanted to show that to you. So I'm going to close that, and I'm going to take you. So the main hall So this will be very reminiscent of camp. I set it up very similar to how camp is. So this is the main hall. There are only 2 sections of the clubhouse now. This is the main hall, and these are the gathering rooms. So the main hall, imagine that you are walking into a house for the first time. So in a house, you have an entryway and you walk into a hallway, right? So in our hallway, we have this kind of like very organized, very Pinteresty kind of hallway where I have set up a directory for you. And this directory is like your hub. And this hub has your clubhouse map, your quick start guide, and your FAQ. So everything when you've spent too much time away from the clubhouse and you're trying to reorient yourself, you want to catch up fast. Here is your catch up fast. Here's what are all these places in the clubhouse? It's right here. And then here's a longer version of like, here's the main hall, here's the family room, here's the cottage. These are all the things. And there's so few spaces now that it should hopefully be more easy to remember, but it is all right here in this place called the directory. So it's your home base, hub, and help. So it's like it's a fancy little place in your main hall. And then now you have a thing called the bulletin board. And this is where you will have all your announcements, your happy mail, your calendar, much like a home has, your kind of like bulletin board / calendar. So every home has that when you walk in there, and that's what you guys will have now. And so instead of having a mailbox and an events calendar, it's now the bulletin board. So all of that lives here in your main hall. And then the next part of the main hall is what I'm calling the seasonal station. And the seasonal station is basically a lot like the media center used to be. So your seasonal station is where you'll get your story for the season, and it will have your Pinterest board, your playlists, and all that good stuff. So this is where you'll come to listen and watch and have all that kind of supporting fun stuff that kind of helps tell the story of what the season feels like, sounds like, and all that good, delicious stuff. So that is the main hall. And so these are the 3 key areas that is kind of like for all members, all people in the clubhouse. This is like all of your informational stuff. And the gathering rooms is like where people, obviously, where they gather. So, but I don't want you guys to see too much of that. So anyway, so we'll have the family room, which is our main feed, the game room, which is where everyone plays Wordle. And then the cottage is where the all access members now will get their play kit. And the play kit is where you have a printable kit that has the prompts for that project, and it has a little bit of like decor. So it's not like a full blown big kit or anything. It's very small and simple. So those are the pieces that are part of the all access pass. So you can buy it separate in the store, but if you get it here in the membership, this level of membership in the cottage, it also includes 3 live streams with me. So we will be working on our projects together. I'll be going over the kit. We'll talk about different aspects of our project together, and then we'll celebrate and show each other what we made with it. So it's kind of like more of a higher touch point level of membership. And so that is a kind of VIP type area that's separate. And so, and then there is one separate area for anything that is like prayer, praise, any kind of Bible chatty stuff goes in this room. So that would be separate from the family room, which is like an all purpose, everything that's creative, want to share parts of your life and all that good stuff. So that is Amy, that is the live streams I'm talking about. So those are girlfriend gatherings now. And that happens in the cottage. So it'll be a short one, a long one, and a short one is how that rhythm will go for the 3 months of the season. But all of that is spelled out. It's all spelled out in the post that I put in the Clubhouse. So, and it will be reposted again in the new member when you get switched over, it'll be reposted again. But if you read the very lengthy post I put in there, I explained all of that in detail so that everybody was just, I think I posted it yesterday. So all levels of members have all of access of what's going on and happening. But that's what it looks like. And so it is going to be, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to feel like, my hope is it'll feel very similar to camp. It'll be, I'm sure, less energy because camp is very special in that way. You can go ahead and close it, honey. It's obviously, it's a very exciting time, but this will give us a very fun, practical project, something that is very useful that you can use all year long, all years long. But it's, but it's something that we could, sharing with each other a project like this is really neat because it's something so relatable and something all of us would be interested in seeing each other's ideas. And something that, people would be very inspired by. So it's kind of, in my mind, it's very much the hallmark of, the thing I've always loved about having a community with the Reset Girl is people sharing each other's stuff. So anyway, that is what I wanted to share about our new Clubhouse. So the other thing I wanted to say is that, so you have that, and then you have the bingo sheet. This will be separately in here. And then this will be for the bingo sheet prompts, which these are right here. This will be for subscribing to my my newsletter. So if you are subscribed here, then you will, if you are subscribed to my newsletter, then you will go ahead and get this. And then these are something you would use along with your project. So that would help incentivize you and have something fun to play with as well. So there's the kit, which is included in the all access pass. You can purchase that separately as well. And then there's the bingo sheet, which is free for signing up for my my membership. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say membership, signing up for my newsletter. Okay. So now, because I am introducing all of this, and this is all kind of kicking off on around the first of the month, I'm trying to make this deadline with all my heart and soul. I'm trying to make this deadline. It has been really, really difficult. I was really, really lucky to get like stuff set up just at least to show that much to you. So it has been really hard to try to like gather all my creative forces because I feel like I used everything up doing camp. And now for my favorite season, I'm struggling so much trying to like put something out there that, that I love and that I want, to make something so wonderful, not like make something I want to use, something that's inspiring. And then I'm struggling to do that. And it's like, I personally have just not had, I've just not ever had this much of a struggle doing that. So I'm going to get that Clubhouse all, spick and span and tidy and up. But the kit, I want it to be amazing. I just really want it to be something that inspires me because that is the goal I am really working on, is trying to like make sure that I want to use every piece of something. And I really want to see what happens if I design something where I love all of it. Would it be something that I actually like use all of it? Will it make a difference in how, how things going forward? I would love to experiment and see if that's true when I have complete control over all of it and I focus on it. Like, this is for you. This is like something that you're going to use. Will you use it? So we shall see. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was the actual project. And I wanted to, first I want to show you my papers before I jump into the format of the possible formats for doing a Commonplace. Because, historically people often use a notebook, which that's that's the historical purpose, is like, let's get a notebook and fill it up with all of our notes. And it doesn't have to be pretty. I mean, it's about capturing all of your thoughts and ideas. Obviously, doing it in such a way to make it organized is what a lot of people are very intent on doing, is you want to be able to find what you've written. There's so many videos. There's even books published about Commonplace books. I find them to be very interesting. But when you approach the project from a very creative standpoint, you're adding these layers to it of making it very scrappy, or you can even make it very junk journal-y. You can make it, when you start adding it in the different, choosing different components and different formats, it does add some complexity, but I just wanted to point some stuff out to you to help you think it through, what sounds like a good fit for you, because I know this is like probably the most stressful part of taking on a project, is what format is it going to be in? I know that it is for me, and I have to have a lot of time to think it through. Even I am sitting here waffling between two decisions, and I think that sometimes even talking that out can be helpful, and having other, inputs on, like, well, what are you going to build it in? What are you building it in? That can be helpful, which is a great benefit of being in the community. That is one of the things that happens a lot, is like the whole, what are you doing it in, and why? And here's pictures, lots of pictures of like what I'm doing. So anyway, here was my my fall stuff. Hi, Miss Shelley. Here's some fall stuff. If I can, here we go. So this was so delicious, and I was really excited about this. So it reminded me of like school shopping. You remember when we were kids, and there was some level of school shopping. Sometimes the patterns and stuff kind of reminded me of that, of like getting like a new dress, or whatever that would be. So I went through all my stuff, and this is kind of what I pulled out that these felt very fall to me. So I put these aside, and now that I have them out, I'm like, so this feels like really good contenders for doing something that's very much like a Commonplace book. So these are all from different collections, different years. They're not necessarily, I love the way they all look together, though. They ended up being so scrumptious. They have this wonderful, like, cottagey kind of feel to them. In all the years of doing this, I honestly have to say that the curating of paper is my absolute favorite thing. Absolute favorite thing, hands down. So it's kind of hard to hold them all out so they can be seen. And then this one I loved was adding some of like butterflies into it. I thought like adding some little butterfly specimens into my, almost like field notes, wouldn't that be fun? So these could be, I'm going to show you one example of how you can alter a book. I think an altered book would make a perfect Commonplace book project, because it already lends itself to it. Now you'd have to modify the book, because it doesn't, obviously a book already has print in it. So it would require a little more work to use a book as a Commonplace book. You'd have to create what I call journaling spots. I don't know if that's what they're known as, but that's what I started calling them when I made a altered book. I taught that in workshops on my cruise and in a retreat. Aren't these bomb? I am so in love. I forgot what these all look like. I just found this pile together, and now I'm so in love. I'm so happy that I took the time to do that. Here's like a quirky one that was kind of like out of left field, but I love it. So anyway, these are a bunch of papers that I have for fall. So in some capacity, I shall use them for something fall related. So one of the formats that I considered was this, which I showed you guys, I believe, on the Late Night Crafty Club. So this was this really cool vintage binder that I found on eBay, and I think it was $20. This is like an original 1970s something. I don't even remember what the brand was. I think I don't even remember if it even had a brand name when the seller posted it, because I don't see anything on here that would tell me what its brand is. I don't have my glasses on either though, so that might be part of the problem. Anyway, does this look like, does that look like fall or what? Hey, Kimberly, she says, I still have my journal Commonplace book that I made on the cruise. That is such amazing timing that you showed up right when I mentioned that. So here's the little book that I made on that cruise. And I just wanted to show you really quick about what would happen if you decided to do a book, to do an altered book, because obviously books have a lot of print in them. So you would have to, work around that. So here's, here's a little vintage hardback book. I lined the interior to make it more fun. And then in this case, you would be able to do some of the pages is just lay down some, you would lay down some of the scrapbook paper on a page and then trim it down so it fit. And then another way of building scrapbook pages in it is to cut away a page, leaving about an inch of the book page left behind, which you can see right here that I did that. And I washied a hinge between the scrapbook paper and that page. So it's like anchored, it's joined together with washi. So that gives you this little kind of like, it brings two types of paper together, and it gives you the ability to add a scrapbook paper, like on both sides, so that you could use fun paper in here. When you do an altered book, you're going to end up pulling a lot of pages out of it, which is going to feel weird, but you're going to be tearing a lot of pages out to thin the book out, because so much of what you're going to do is adding bulk. So it is going to feel a little strange to do that, but you're going to have to in order to do that. So a journaling spot is just adding some kind of piece here to add, writing back onto the page. So here would be an example of a journaling spot, is some little area that I've added to the page to create text. So this is what an altered book would look like, is you finding creative ways of attaching things onto the page in order to write on it, because obviously you can't write directly over all this text. You'd never see anything. So this would be more work. It'd be more creative. It would be fun, but it's more work. You have to do work to prep the pages. I showed you something super simple. There are so many ways to alter a book. You could go on YouTube and put, altered book ideas. You will see so many concepts of how you can, do stuff to the pages, different ways of adding things to the pages beyond what I just showed you. Beyond just putting a piece of scrapbook paper down, there's ways of using the gesso and paint. There's so many things to do with altered books. It's a bigger project doing it that way. So if that's totally, if that's your jam and you want to take on a project like that, then you certainly could. But these are fun to do. There's obviously different levels of intensity of doing an altered book. I did this as a simple version. That's what I taught on the cruise. So I brought a bunch of these for like my mom and my aunties that came, and I gave them all a book to do, so they had something to work with, and they did an awesome job. So, and then I have this example, which I know a lot of you saw, and this is like another super simple where I was literally just attaching, like ephemera to the pages with clips. Like, so it can be a simple thing, and then embellishing with like washi and stickers. So it can be simple, just embellishing here and there, and like taping stuff, like, tipping in little extra stuff here and there, which is what I did. But it will always be a little bit more than just like writing something on a piece of paper, punching it and sticking it in a binder. This will always be a little bit extra. But then the results can be, they're extra, right? It's extra special. It's super fun. It's different. The clippy thing, I think, is probably one of the simplest kind of ways of doing it. It's the least amount of, it's just gathering some cool ephemera and clipping it together on a page and writing on it. So this is another way of doing it. I just tore up some scrapbook paper and just pasted it on just to add some little extras. So this was like a cheater method. This whole book was a secretary book. So I was trying to find creative ways of like saying funny work things. It's like a secretary manual. So there's lots of like office paper in here and stuff. So, and I had a fun time doing this interior. This is like my favorite part of doing a altered book, which is why they're so fun to do. Personally, I think that's why I liked doing them so much, is just for that doing the interiors, the interior part. Look, I broke my rule. I have two honeys facing each other, but I couldn't help it. So anyway, this would be like examples of just doing an altered book. So that's super popular method of, people love an altered book. Those are just, an idea for doing them. There's lots of ways. Another, idea is getting a mini binder. This is like that kind of like the junior size binders, which you can get at Office Depot. They have the clear view kind. You could make your own little cover for it. And you could have the small little, the small ring size. They make a little mini punch. So this is a really simple thing. You could cut down your scrapbook paper so it's more fit to this kind of size. So it's not quite like, it's not quite as complex as like a scrapbook. It could be really simple because you're using, a 3-ring, a simple punch. You're throwing paper in there, and then you could just kind of like treat it kind of junk journal-y and kind of like write on scraps, kind of like an art journal, junk journal type of thing, but then keeping it in a structured binder. So I love that idea a lot. I'm kind of toying with that. It's kind of neat to think of like how cool that would be with commonplacing, which all commonplacing is that you are just capturing quotes, lyrics, scripture, thoughts, lists, ideas. If you want to just focus on the season, it's like, here's my thoughts this season. Here were like profound ideas, epiphanies that I had. It is just capturing the common thoughts, common ideas, just a place to capture. That's the essence of it. Sometimes, this was something that a lot of people who were reading a lot back in those days, they had access to reading a lot of things. So like, what did you do when you read great works, and you wanted to capture some of the things that you had read? You would write them in a little journal or a notebook, and, paper was more precious. Writing tools were more precious. So people would have all of these things in this precious little book. And they called it a commonplace book. So that idea, I don't remember the years, if it was in the 1700s is when the commonplacing was a thing. So you can find information about it, like going back to its origins. I've read a book about commonplacing. I've read essays about it. It's fascinating. But that is essentially what you're doing. You can, which I think is the best part about it, is just the thoughts of like, capturing the best of, the essence of, having this one repository of all of like all of the best of something, and one of the things that I think about, which I think a lot of us would love this, is oftentimes I wish I had this place, this little library of quotes that I could use in my crafting. I see beautiful quotes all the time in art journaling, junk journaling, collaging. And I always think, where do these quotes come from? I wish I had a place where I could capture all these great quotes that I could use in my artwork. and now I'm thinking, what a great reason to have a Commonplace book is to use it for my collage work, to use it for my artwork, because I often will like look up stuff on the fly, and I don't want to do that. I want to have something that's like a library that I refer to all the time, is like these beautiful, profound quotes that I love. And I don't mind reusing the same quote over and over, especially if it's a really good one. So that would be a wonderful reason to have a Commonplace book, is that you're just having this wonderful, like, it is my library of great quotes, and they're like ones I'd want to use again, especially if you like make cards for people. Think about that. Like, you have these really great card messages. If you love doing that, if you make cards for people, if they're like special scriptures or verses or poems, and that you love, and making little cards to give out to people, especially someone like, a friend or a family member, or some, things that make you feel good to give to someone, like, making something, gift tags. There's so many of us are like crafters, paper crafters, and yet how many of us are always searching for something to say? Now you'd have this fabulous, crafty, creative little album full of all of these fun little quotes. And it doesn't have to be this structured, beautiful notebook. It could be this fun, scrappy little book that you've just jotted. And you know what? Sometimes I think, hear me out on this. How many times do we like buy a notebook and then don't want to write in it because I don't want to ruin it? This happens all the time. I don't have the right pen. It's too pretty. I'm afraid I'll like start writing in it. And then this happens to me. I don't want to write in it because what if I lose that pen, and I don't want to start using another pen in that book because they won't be the same pen colors. We have such weird thinking about these things. And I know I'm saying this and some of you are nodding. Yes, exactly, Cori. I know I am among friends right now. All the time, Angela says, amen. We love the notebooks, but writing in the notebook is totally different. We love the notebooks. They are so beautiful. They're so awesome. And we have so many plans. We have such a vision for that notebook. I could do this in it. This would be perfect for that. But man, putting that first thing down in it, and you don't even want to do that because what if you change your mind? Well, I thought I was going to use that notebook for that, and nobody wants a notebook with one page written in it. So you never use it, and it becomes a pile of unused notebooks. So what if you just had, Angela, hear me now, because I know you said you didn't know what you're going to do. Hear me now. What if you just had some little, just messy binder, and you just tried it out? This is an experiment, okay? We just call the fall an experiment. What if you're that girl and you don't know what you want to do, just call it an experiment. I'm going to experiment this season with my Commonplace book, and I'm just going to get like a little binder or something that I can just grab a bunch of stuff together and like bind it. So however you want to bind it. You could bind it like a scrapbook. You could bind it like with discs. You could bind it with loose rings, or you could get an Office Depot little mini clear view binder and make a scrapbook cover for it, like the scrapbook paper. Do that. And then this is from Staples. This is cheap. So you could get a little cheap. This was like $6 something at the time. I don't know what it is now, but you could get one of these. So you have a really easy way of just punching whatever paper. You could just random papers. So your papers are messy. They're not perfect. They're not matchy. And that way you won't feel weird about writing stuff on them. And you just write your thoughts. Write a random thought, write a quote here, write this, write that. Even if you don't stick with it, at least you'll have all this cool paper that you wrote your little thoughts and your quotes. You can still use those in your projects somewhere down the line. So it won't be wasted effort. You'll still be able to use all this. You can cut up your quotes later and use them in other projects. I'm preaching to myself right now. So even if you don't stick with this process and you decide later, okay, I feel more confident about what I want to do. I am going to do an altered book, or I am going to do this. Maybe down the road, you'll feel more sure about how you want to do that later, but you'll still have a bunch of loose, cool paper. Maybe use some of your stash. And then you'll have all that loose, cool paper with your handwriting and all that. And you didn't give a fig about what it looked like, what pen you used. And now you've got all this fun, just fodder to use in your junk journals, because that's what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to look a little messy. Only I think a lot of us have a hard time making things look intentionally messy. So let's do an experiment. I'm really feeling that word for 2026. I feel like that word is really starting to resonate with me because I have a really hard time just trying things. I really do. So I feel like that word is really starting to settle with me, that I want experiment to be my word for 2026. So I think I have made a decision. I wasn't even thinking this, but I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to be random. I'm just going to grab random stuff. I'm just going to punch it and I'm going to throw it in here. And then I'm just going to make this strange little loosey-goosey kind of binder. And it's going to have all this like fun, randomy stuff. And then who knows, maybe once I get it in here, I'll just start embellishing it. I have all these super fun. I went crazy with Tim Holtz. Me and Tim, we had a moment. I have all these fun little Tim Holtz embellishments and stuff. Maybe I'll just start pasting Tim Holtz embellishments on my papers and washi and random stickers. And I'll just have this weird experimental binder that I would never have intentionally made. But maybe that's what I need to do. You know, maybe the vision for me isn't necessarily like crafting intentionally with love. Maybe for me, I need to just be like, I just need to be experimental. Because that's my holdup. That's my problem, So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I like where I'm going with this, but and then there's other types of, binded things. I showed you guys my gorgeous Moterm cover that I got for my happy planner. Cause I bought this planner because of the beautiful tabs. It was really about these tabs. And honestly, I don't ever gravitate towards earthy colors, but there was just something so magical about these like butterscotch and pink. This color palette just did it for me. So like, that's all I cared about was just, I wanted to have that. And then when I saw this on Poshmark, which I never go on there ever, I don't know where I saw this. I don't even know how this happened, honestly. Oh, I know. I Googled it because I've been trying to find anybody who makes like nice covers for happy planners now. They seem to have disappeared. And somebody was selling this for like half of what it retails for. So yeah. So you could do a commonplace with like a happy planner situation. Can I show you something? This company, I bought this on Amazon. By the way, I'm going to get my Amazon store all tidied up so that like our Amazon storefront is bomb. And I have all of the things that I love and have recommended for years, all organized. This is a new product. I am absolutely in love. Look what they have. I have never seen this type before. I have bought these metal rings so many times because I cannot stand the plastic. Now I think these are smaller than the ones that come with it, but they're like a bronzed and they're metal and they were like $10-ish. They are so cool. I love how they're like bronzy. I have not seen this style before. And I've paid much more than that for metal ones. I always gravitate towards metal. So if you want to do a commonplace book in a happy planner type thing, the great thing about happy place planner type products is if you had their punch, all you need is a set of discs, and you can make your own covers with those little chopping mats that I showed you guys that you can get from the dollar store. So you can whip up one of those, like a DIY thing, and make your own doing it with the discs. I mean, that would be a way to go about it as well. So I really love that. What else was I going to show you? Oh, here's the other thing. This is another idea. This is one of the ways in which I was thinking about this project as well when I started it, but you could do your commonplacing on cards. Now, with these cards, I started, going to town and making them really like crafty, and like it was all about putting pictures on them. But you could make sure to leave space for your writing. So like you could put like a picture on this side and then have, room for like putting your quote. So you could have crafty commonplace cards. That was going to be a workshop I was going to teach. So I'm handing that one over early. So like here was a quote from Golda Meir. Trust yourself, create the kind of self that you will be happy to live with all your life. So I wanted to have like a library of great quotes, but look how much more fun it is when you have beautiful cards to look at. Isn't that a cool idea? So maybe, you do this kind of thing with them instead. So I actually was starting to miss my cards when I started looking at it this way. I was like, oh, I should think about that too. This is when I made the little envelope of bits. You guys remember, this is how I brought back the Late Night Crafty Club, was doing my cards. So here was making a little pocket. I want to do a whole workshop on stuff like this. Kelly Anderson, are you still here? Paige and Kelly Anderson. Yeah, this was like a fun pocket. See, I don't even remember the Cori that did this. There was a version of me present. Note to self, Kelly. Let's do a card workshop. So I think this could be a really fun way, and it would be loose. If you didn't like how it, if you started writing or whatever and you didn't like it, you could toss the card. That was a cute quote. If you want breakfast in bed, sleep in the kitchen. And then here was a card I made using the Trader Joe's Harvest Blend herbal tea. So this was from fall. This was my fall card. So yes, I was doing the Late Night Crafty Club in the fall. So anyway, this is just, yeah, Mark, here it is. Here's Mr. Right. We were trying to figure out when I had been doing it. And we were trying to like use my YouTube channel to figure out when I had gone back to doing the Late Night Crafty Club. And here's evidence, honey. This was the Mr. Right clip that you found. So anyhow, here was my other fun way of doing commonplacing, would be using cards. Thoughts? Anybody have any thoughts? See, sometimes it ends up different and it's better that way. I don't know if that was a real quote or something I just came up with. I have no idea. It is too expensive if it costs your mental health. That is a quote for sure. This is so cool. I have not looked at these in a while, and this is giving me all the feels, like giving me like, making me want to, I can't spare a square. I just recently went through all the entire 9 seasons of Seinfeld recently. And look, this is one of my word strips from the Reset Girl collab word strip stickers. So adorable squared. That was one of my word strips. Your direction is more important than your speed. See, so these are examples of ways in which I was doing it, like collecting my quotes. So these would just be really fancy cards. And one of the things that I did was type mine out. So you could write yours out or type them out in advance and then just put them. Like, it would be a way of combining being creative. You could be less creative. You don't have to be this fancy if you didn't want to, but this is a way of doing it. Laura says, I still have some of those word strips. I do too. Actually, I see mine right now. That's really cool that you do, Laura. I'm sure a lot of you were so sweet, and you guys really supported me on that launch and bought a lot of stuff. I remember that being huge. That was a huge deal. But yeah, I still have a few things from that I have up in the little bin right there. It's kind of fun to look at every now and then. And when I say look at them, I just glance up over there at them. Hi, Denise Thornton. I haven't seen your little face in a while. Good to see you. Me too, she says. I still use them in my planner. Well, Kimberly says, I have mine too. I'm such a hoarder. I know. A lot of us are, right? We are little hoarders. Kathleen says, the Reset Girl stuff I hoard, I may use them for this project. You know, that's a good point. This project, if you choose to do this type of project, I would say that collection actually would make a really good, appropriate use of it. It's kind of interesting. I remember when looking back at that whole thing, and I remember it all coming to be. It was such an interesting experience. What a cool experience, though. I always look at that and I always feel so incredibly grateful to have had that experience, to see like my brand name on there, and it's so neat. And then like to share that with you ladies that you know we're all hoarding it. None of us want to use it. Because it's kind of, you know, there's some things that come along that are very special and you just know you're not going to see it again. You know, I don't feel that way about like back in the day, Crate Paper put out some collections that are really special. They never made their stuff like that once it kind of like changed. I think the owner didn't keep designing her own stuff. It kind of went into the design team's hands at American Crafts, and it changed, it evolved. So her designs look different and you can tell. And so those type of collections, like Open Road is one of them that off the top of my head, there's some of the stuff like you'll never see stuff like that. So yeah, it's the stuff you just don't want to use it, but it's like, well, is that the right attitude though? Isn't it better to use it so you have a project that's using it? Isn't it better to have it in a useful situation, or is it better just to have it like never used? I don't know. These are good philosophical questions that we should ask ourselves. What is better? So anyway, here's another way you could commonplace, which is to use cards. So using that, Denise says she bought the digital to back up. So you could start a little card collection of your commonplacing. And the neat thing about this is, you know, they're loose and you can kind of like move them around and catalog them like a true library card index. And that can be very satisfying because you can organize them. Or you can do this kind of loosey-goosey thing and just treat it very casually, you know, just because sometimes when we take on projects, when we're a little too precious about it, sometimes that can almost feel like it's giving you anxiety, because then you're like stressing about every decision you make. And I don't want that for you. That's not the point of our project. And if that is what you're starting to feel just about like, what if I pick wrong? And I'm saying it because I do that too. I can already feel the, what if I pick wrong, you know, voices popping up. So I'm going to experiment with the word experiment, and I'm going to test run it, and I'm going to see, maybe that is my word for the year, because I am not very good with experimenting. As you can see, and I've joked about it so many times, but you know, being a one-trick pony in my crafting is because I'm not a very good experimenter. And I'm trying to change that. I did buy myself some new stuff. I got myself some new supplies so that I'm going to be more mixed media-ish. I invested in some classes. I'm going to take some stuff. I'm going to learn some things. I'm going to push myself harder. So we're doing it. So whether you decide to join the Clubhouse, and I would love you to join because you know this lovely community. It's the same community that joins the Late Night Crafty Club. But whether you choose to do that or not, the Late Night Crafty Club is always here. So this is like, basically it's the free level of being with me. And then you have the bingo prompts. All I ask is for your email. I think that's fair. I won't bother you much, trust me. But you stay in the loop, because I am trying to be better at, you know, I'm going to be trying to do better with my emailing. I did get some valuable input about emailing and how people do appreciate my emails, and that they, you know, they like them. And I have been being a little bit more creative and crafty when it comes to like digital creating. And I would like to create more so that I have some new little art prints to sell, because I am just very excited to move into my new cottage and get it all spruced up. And I want to have a gallery wall in there, and I want to see some of the things I've created up on my gallery wall. And I would love to say, hey, would you like to buy some of my prints? So we can be twinsies, because I think that would be so fun. So yeah. So anyway, that's what I did recently, was I created some really cute little prints, and I that was the last thing I offered. And so I'm not a really big, I don't like to push you guys and always tell you I got stuff coming, but thank you, Terry. But I was thinking, like, here's a thought I had. I was like, it's fall and it's time to start like looking at fall manicures. And I love pulling out all my fall nail polish. And I thought, that would be fun to tell people, tell you guys. Don't we all love to have like our little nails done with fall colors? And I thought, well, that would be a simple thing, is like, why don't I just tell them what fall colors I love? Right? Because we're girlfriends, and that's what girlfriends do. You tell each other like what fall colors, what are my favorite polishes and the ones, my go-to colors that I love. And I just did my nails today, and my little go-to ride or die like nail polish tools that I can get my nails done like in, I don't know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Because I always try to get my nails did before I, jump on here. So that is one of the things I thought that could be in my newsletter, and maybe just talking a bit, like I try to do this, shared that in the Clubhouse. So then I thought, see, why don't you treat the Happy Place Club like your Instagram feed? Do you remember how you used to like share so much on Instagram? So these are like just the mentality that I have to like change my thinking and how I do stuff. So I'm just, I want my newsletter to do better. I need to do better. And I just need to stop feeling like I'm bothering you, because that's what I feel like. I need to stop that. So Amy, the cottage I'm talking about is we are parked on my, Mark's parents' property. They have a really, really large property, and directly in front of us is this little cottage. It's like one long room. It's like one of those little modular units that you can buy and put on your property. It's like one long room. So they have one. It's attached to an outdoor kitchen, and his parents very kindly are letting us rent it, and very inexpensively. And so it's mine. Now, right now, it is being used as a storage center, which is kind of why his parents offered it to us, because we were trying to shift storage. I now have 3 storages. This is ridiculous now. So we are trying to shift around and get rid of more storage. We need to get rid of stuff. But ultimately, I want to be in there and treat it like my studio, and treat it like I'm a real creator, like I'm a creative, and I sit in there and I actually make stuff, and I'm like growing in my skills. So I really want to act as if I'm a creative and I have a space. What is that magazine? The Somerset magazine. Do you guys know that one, where she creates? I think that's one of their issues that they have, is where she creates. I loved when that first came out. I was like, oh, I just thought it was so awesome. So I have that now. I just have to go in there and get all my stuff out of it, make it pretty. So Oh my goodness. I cannot wait to get it all like back to having a craft room again and back to having like a fun space again. And so that is where I want to do my my girlfriend gatherings. So I will still do the Late Night Crafty Club in here, but in there is where I ultimately want to do girlfriend gatherings. So all that to say, so I covered talking about the last thing I wanted to share with you. This is what I was pondering for another option for doing a commonplace. Do you guys remember this? This is the last thing I started crafting in before the whole camp thing started and I had to switch gears. So this was that cool vintage leather ledger book that I got on eBay. And this is also a cool possibility. I made this cool cover for it out of the chopping mat from the Dollar Tree. And it comes with these really cool sheets and it's got this kind of landscape format. And I made this on May 16th. That's how long ago it was. And it's a fun way to kind of like practice collage and be audacious. You can add extra, like this was like an extra little page that I just added in here all willy-nilly. And I added a little fun square pocket page in here. I was just like testing things. Here's another page I added, kind of like a vertical page, and I added it a lateral. Here's from a yearbook I added. And then this side, I put stuff on it. Here's another scrapbook page I did. So this has potential, and this is something you can find on eBay. Sorry, I could not get that out of my head. eBay. So here's what I was trying to say, like punching things like journal cards, random stuff. This is a little bit more tidy, but just randomy things, you could do the same thing in here. This is just sort of a different format. This is a little more fussy because there's no simple little punch. I had to make a template. Here's my ledger punch template. So I would have to use my single punch, which you should have this in your arsenal. But I'd have to punch it 4 times to get any extra good fun stuff in here like this. You would just have to punch. But it came with pages, and this one had tabs. So you could alphabetize all your quotes. I mean, that's a fun, goofy way of doing that. So this would be a way of doing this. Doing a commonplace book. So that'd be another fun way. And it's very structured. Like, you know, if you had the ledger in here, it's like you could have like entries. So that'd be another way. And you could kind of like do a hybrid of like junk journal / you know, like collage kind of like fun. So you could kind of really fluff it up and make it more fun. So this kind of landscape way of like having a ledger is kind of novel. It's kind of different. So something like this might be a fun way too. So these were some of my suggestions of like, this is probably this is my opinion. Although I did show you a simple way was attaching stuff to the pages. To me, this is the more work intensive. But if you're ready for a cozy, just crafty season and you're like, no, altered book is perfect. That's like, it's the perfect theme to do it. Cause I think it is. I definitely do. You just thin out your book by tearing out the sheets in here, you know, like you want to just the best way to do this is to like have a metal ruler to hold the pages down and pull the page out. So it's super clean. Pulling the pages out is actually a little tricky to get them like very clean here. So a lot of people hold the pages down with a ruler to get them out. So just thinning out your book is actually something that you'll need to do. And it feels really weird to do that. Most of us have been taught to have respect for our books. So it is odd, ripping and tearing it apart. It does feel weird to do that, but it must be done because you will end up with such a fluffy book that you won't be able to like close it and use it in a more practical capacity if you don't. And you definitely want to, fill it back up again and make it fluffy. So that's where you're giving it breathing space. Okay. So I now think I have covered all that I wanted to share with you about that project. Okay. So now you know that's what I have coming up in what I'm calling the cozy season. I'm not technically calling it fall, even though it is, because December is being, December's part of that. Chris, I think you asked the question, is December part of fall? I think you asked, is Christmas part of fall? So Christmas technically isn't, because right before Christmas, it turns into winter. It's like a few days before is the equinox. No, I'm sorry. It's the solstice. It's the winter solstice. So it flips over and it becomes winter. But it's like the majority of that month is fall. And I think I think that's the one that feels the weirdest to most of us. If we were going to take a poll, I think for most of us to say, do you think December is fall? Most of us would say no. It absolutely is not. I think that is when I realized in the TRG universe, that's when I realized, did I make a mistake? How in the world did I, when I was working in the playbooks, how in the world did I decide to include December in the fall? And that's when I realized this whole thing with the way we use calendars and planners here in North America is we use this system that's different than how we grew up with. So it kind of blew my mind, and I've lived with it. I have accepted it, but now no longer. I'm going back to the way that we all are used to. So this spring, I'm fixing things. So we are going to have a short winter. January and February, we will have 2 months of winter. And then spring, March 1st, spring will be March, April, and May. So then we'll be on track. We'll be back on track the way where most of us are used to. So we will not align with the planners that we have in our calendars and planners, but we'll be back to the way that we were living our life for so long as kids. So, all right. Does anyone have any questions before we move on? It's 6:44. This has been a big late night chatty club. My little lips are dry. Ooh, Robin, you got the ledger. And she remembers my craft room in Washington. Oh, I loved that craft room. It was so pretty. You know what? That craft room, Wayfair reached out to me and asked if they could feature my craft room on their website, because they wanted to feature my craft table, which was weird because it wasn't a Wayfair product. It came from IKEA, but they wanted to show my craft room, and because they were doing an article about craft tables. So that was really cool. I never got to see it. I never got to see the finished product, but I thought that was really neat. I remember when they asked me. So Kimberly says, in my head, winter is January. Yes, absolutely. December is winter. December, January, February. That is winter. It's weird. Denise, I'm not sure if I understand your question. So I mentioned I'm not sure if I understand your question. Because the thing that I'm offering is the cozy, the Crafty Girl play kit. That's what I'm designing for the project. So whatever you guys are, however you want to do that. It's not. I'm not designing anything that's specific to a Commonplace book. It's just like a general. Here's this, and here's the prompts for you to do this project. But what you'll get are just some like things that can be used in general. Is kind of my plan. So it's like some loosey things, but that's what it is. It's the Crafty Girl play kit. So it's like separate. It's not going to have any name attached from the Happy Place Club, and it's something that can be sold in the store. So I'm not sure if that's what you're asking me. Just to clarify that. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking, but so let me know if I did not answer that question. Okay. So are you okay? So I'm gonna craft. I think I'm just gonna jump in and do some of my pages because I haven't been in this book in a while. Wow, there's a lot of lights. It's like a little bit of a disco here. Little bit of a disco going on. Did I show you guys these really cool stickers? Where did I show them to you here?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I want to try and use some of try and use these up. These stickers are so neat. I hear little cars going out. Now, oh, that's a good question. Should I be going backwards in time? And adding stuff to it that was part of a different. Do you guys ever do that? If you've created pages and you've let's say you did this, this one I did back in May. So if you did something way back in May, do you have the audacity to add something to it months later in September and start embellishing it again? What's your feelings about that? And while you answer that, I'm going to add a gold star to this. I am obsessed with these gold foil stars. I don't know. I absolutely love these. I just love them. I've been adding them to so many things. I just love them. So, let me know. I've been sticker obsessed lately. I've been using these stickers you would never imagine me using in a million years. They're like my inner kid loves these stickers I got from Bando. Little stickers everywhere. Okay. So Amy says, yes, I have no problem doing that. Okay, I think I'm leaning into Robin says go for it. Oh, Robin. Rockin' Robins. Robin says there's no rules. That's true. There are no rules here. There are no rules here. Rock, Robin. Where's my little... I'm going to... Oh, was I going to do something with that? Let me add it to this side. Because why should I ruin all my writing space just to do that? Annie says, of course I do. Denise says I go back and touch up pages if I feel like they need it. Ooh, I have a book. I don't think I've used this book. My mother-in-law gave me this book. I think I'm ready to start tearing it up. Ooh, are there, what are those? Are there geese in here? Linda says yes all the time. I'll pick up. An old junk journal and add to it even if I was finished at the time. Okay. All right. So I guess I have my answer. That is the majority. I think I'm just going to keep getting that answer. Okay. So let me see here. Sandpipers, gulls, pelicans. Gulls. Yeah, I did not realize there were so many types of gulls. You know, until you like grab one of these type of books, whether it's like flowers or rocks or anything, like you just don't realize how many varieties of something that you thought there was just one thing. Like I thought it would have been impossible that there were this many types of gulls. But no, there are many, 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 many. And also, I wonder if some of these birds no longer exist. I don't know how old this book is, but I'm pretty sure it's old. I could have sworn when I was moving through here, a plover, an oyster catcher, a black oyster catcher. What a cool bird name, oyster catcher. Aleutian, an Aleutian tern. A tern. I never knew that name. How fun. Okay, I need to find a good bird to pull out of here. A brown booby. I feel like I'm like a little kid, but who decided they were going to name a bird Booby? It's from the family Saludae. Seabirds with large tapering bills and pointed tails. Larger than most gulls. Sexes alike, boobies sit on buoys. They fish by plunging from the air like brown pelicans. Who named them? I need to know. Certainly there were other names available. See, look, now people are getting their comments hidden because we're using the B word. American widgeon. A duck-like swimmer. A purple gallinule. Wow. A Barrow's goldeneye. A bufflehead. A bufflehead. That's going in my book. A bufflehead. You know what? Just for how cool and different these names are, like, doesn't that feel like it warrants being in your book, your junk journal? Hey, Sherry Davis. Terry, you absolutely could use pocket pages for your Commonplace. Absolutely. Yeah, that would be a creative way of doing it. You could use journal cards for your Commonplacing, which would be an excellent way to use up your journal cards. If you have a bunch of journal cards, a lot of people end up with journal cards, from like subscription boxes and, just in general, just end up having a lot. Oh my goodness. The bufflehead. I don't even know. What do you even say? Kent Bufflehead, wasn't it? Did I miss Alicia? Alicia! Hello! I haven't seen your little face in a long time. Good to see you. Okay, let me get this. Okay, I'm gonna get some glue on here. And we're gonna get Mr. Bufflehead. What a name. I think if you have any interest in having some humor in your book, get a guide or something, because there's fun stuff. I'm like, what other animals could you find? The Nettles woodpecker, the ladder-backed golden-fronted woodpecker, the red-bellied. You're a red-bellied woodpecker. Sparrows are so cute. Oh my gosh. And look how many there are. There's so many sparrows. So, you know what's funny about woodpeckers? I think all of us, when we think of a woodpecker, who do we think of? Who do you think of when you hear woodpecker? And every time I see one in real life, it's like all I can think about. Yeah, there's one that looks just a lot like him. Oh, Sherry. She says, I thought you said get a guy. A guide. Ellen says, Woody. Yes, Woody Woodpecker. Now, this guy right here, he definitely looks like something else. He has a face only a mother vulture could love. He has a very interesting little face. Wow. There are some really interesting birds. Isn't it amazing to you when you see like just all the varieties of something that there is? It's so mind-boggling how many types of birds and how many types of, I don't know, just all of the different little creatures and how many and the varieties and the colors and the patterns. A trogon. What the heck? What kind of bird is that? A trogon. A kingfisher. Now that I've heard of. That's a bird, but I've never heard of a trogon. Anybody else? Anybody? Is there a song named after the trogon? Oh my goodness. What is this? Look at this cool tail though. He looks like he is wearing high fashion. That's something else. I would be curious if that feel he is a bald distinguished gentleman. He said, yes, he was a bald distinguished gentleman. He was indeed. All right, I am going to pull out some of these birds and put some birds in my book, which means some birds shall be sacrificed. Look up nightjar if you want to see a weird. Is it a weird book? A wild looking bird. Okay, let me see if he's in here. Oh, nightjar. Well, that's already a weird name. A titmice, verdin, a tufted titmouse, a bridled titmouse, a plain coastal. Wow, a mountain chickadee, a nightjar. What kind of name is that? Ooh, a Chihuahuan raven. Why would you name him Chihuahuan? Like a Chihuahua? Maybe is he from Mexico? Is he a Mexican raven? I know my mother would definitely want to be part of this conversation. I could feel it. Her and her owls. Oh my goodness. Okay, Mark looked it up. Ellen, you're right. That is a crazy. He doesn't even look real. He looks like a little dragon. He looks like somebody. He looks like a Jim Henson creature. That is definitely that is definitely a wild little bird. You did not lie. You didn't sell us. Didn't sell it incorrectly. Okay, let's put this on. Rita would love him, right? She would be like doing her little bark. Not her little one, her, and then she'd have her little fur up on her back, chasing it around the yard. He looks like an owl with a lizard head. That's a good way to describe him. That's a wild looking bird. Okay, so this is fun. Look how that just landed right there. Now I am covering up their names, but that's a fun little journaling prompt. And I love how it says enjoy the journey as for the like graduating seniors. I think I'm going to sacrifice this little card that I really love and put that there because I think that's fun. I'll probably regret that later. And the reason why I say that is because it feels like in a way it's a little too what's the word? Like simple, where I know I'll zhuzh it up. I'll make it a little more strange. I'll find something in here to like make it a little weird. Here's Audrey. Rachel says she is forever addicted to pocket pages. Well, that's a good addiction. If there is good addictions, I would say that one's good. Like that. I got this from the paper basket on Etsy. I remember this one. There's these little poems that came in the, I forget, like you could get like 6 of them or 8 of them, and there was like a little. It's so cute. It's a little piece of ephemera. I don't know if it has like adhesive that you attach on it or something. Ooh, here's some labels. Hatton's pink tablets, camphorated oil. I don't know. Some of you guys be doing something way cooler than I could in here. Justine, are you you're doing a what is that? An altered book, and you're using the Anne of Green Gables, right? Or is it, am I remembering that? Or no, you're doing Anne of Avonlea, right? I can't wait to see what you do. That's going to be so cool. I'm very excited to see those of you who are doing altered books. I can't wait to see that because I think altered books are so fun. As much as like there was part of me that wants to do one, but I think part of me is like, oh, I just think it's going to be too much work for me. Kilo Nova says, hello, been watching and enjoying your stream as I stamp on tissue paper. Thanks for sharing. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Everyone say hi to Kilo. We welcome you. Welcome to the Late Night Crafty Club. We're happy that you're here. Continue your stamping. That's what we're here to do. We're all sitting here doing our little crafting or relaxing and hanging out together. So more the merrier. Ooh, look, the absence of a mini me. She got away. She ran out of that picture. She escaped. She's now enjoying the journey. So let's see. I want to find a weird place for her. I love when people have like weird places for their placement for their pictures and stuff. Like it looks really weird and kind of random-y. Let me see. Can I tear this picture? Okay, so I'm going to stick it right here. And Oh, you know what? I like the look of the staple, but I don't like it going through the paper. So I'm going to, good night, Brenda. I'm going to, where is this? Okay, I'm gonna fake the look. There we go. There we go. Yes, weird, really weird placement. Not too weird. It does seem strange, yeah, that's a weird flower to have there. Okay, now I have to cover up this, otherwise it's gonna get super sticky. Now I have a mess. I got a mess to clean up. We'll just throw that there. Wait, what if I do this? What if it's like this? Is that too weird? I don't know. Sometimes when you try to be weird, it doesn't look right. It's standing out, but not in a good way. How about that? Okay, that looks okay. I can live with that. It's blending in. Blending in. Do. Summer highlights. That's not what I want. Okay, I think I need these honeys to come with me here. And ooh, look, you know those little quarter wrappers like that? We get some quarter wrapping to do. Let's do some of my honeys, which this will look good on this color. You know, it'd be so funny. This is 40 tokens. This is not quarters, but it would be funny if this was penny, if it was a penny wrapper and I could put penny for your thoughts. See, that's when you need to have your arsenal of quotes. Do you have something funny to say? I always feel like I don't have the right quotes or funny things in the moment. Now, does she need a crown? Sometimes you need a crown. Sometimes you're a girl that just needs to wear the crown. I don't think those crowns fit her though. Oh, close. That was quarters. These are tokens. I don't know when he'll be getting the new honeys, these new laser cut honeys that are just like, so look how bomb they are. They're amazing. Sorry, I'm just making it worse right now, aren't I? I don't know when they will be ready. Hopefully I will have answers soon. I'll have an ETA on that. Let's see. All right, let's look in here. Let's see. Then suddenly a strange thing happened. This is that paper that things don't want to stick to. Okay, now that I got this, now I need something else to lay on it. This is the magical place. This was the Camp Reset Lodge. Oh, I know. How about something in my magazine? How about a little fall flavor? I have 2 of these issues. What is this? 2022? I don't know how I ended up with 2 issues of this. Clearly, I was not paying attention. So, why are things upside down? Oh, that's why. That's why. It's not that I had 2. It's because they have an interesting addition here. You're doing like this weird thing like this. Have we ever seen that before? Were there books or magazines that used to do that when we were younger? Look, acorns. I love acorns. Look at this acorn right here. This is what I want. Acorns are such a cool, they're so cool when you think about it, how small they are and how they grow into like this enormous tree, and how powerful and strong an acorn, like an oak tree is. It's really, when you really think about it, it's quite the miracle, isn't it? I forget what I learned about the acorn. I remember learning something so amazing about it, and it was so inspiring. It made me want a little acorn necklace. I can't remember now if I actually got one or not. Oh, you know what? I'm such a terrible hostess. I actually had music for us, and then I forgot. Oh, that's, let me see here. Okay, now I don't know where it is. Where it is. Right here. Okay. Sherry says, I always love the sticker truck, kind of like the ice cream truck coming in your neighborhood. Exactly. That's exactly how I wanted you guys to feel. And then you would be running for your own purse, not your mom's. I need, I think, something else here. Uh-oh. That was strange. But if I had, let me see, I have some stuff in here. Alive with flavor. Coffee, Red Circle coffee, 8 o'clock coffee. Let's see. Good night, Rebecca. Okay, is that making it too long? No, that's not too long. This guy's going to have a disembodied head, though, if I cut him out of that frame. Oh, that's the thing that Mark wrote me for during camp. Oh, this is stuff that I made in camp. I should make sure that this goes into my scrapbook scout. These are the little tapes that I made with the little handles on them. Aw. Okay. And this was the little memory thing. You guys remember this? I asked you guys, it was a little challenge. I asked you to go ask someone in your house to write something about you. Okay. And then there was the camp reset. These are for my camp, my scout. I forgot to put these in there. I actually did more than I thought. Interesting. Okay. That's good to know. All right, let's move that out. So I'm trying to find some stuff here. Let's get some of the camp stuff out because that needs to be quarantined. Stuff that I would pretty much only use for a camp project. There's my camp. Oh, camp reset. I didn't even know any of this was in here. Okay, here's some map. Map is always good. The colors and stuff can be really cool to work with. Okay. So what are you guys crafting? What is everybody working on? Let me know in the chat. What are you working on? I have Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development. The Village Tree, 1953. Richard Strauss. Using Libraries, an informative guide for students and general users. Oh, I'm sure that one's just super exciting. It's probably a snooze fest. Oh my goodness, I am yawning. Okay, so, I want this. I'm gonna use part of this strip, which is technically it's a summer pattern from my scrapbook scout, but what the heck? What the heck? I'll just do it on this. Darlis is finishing up Camp Scout, last 2 pages. Cori is making dog food. I'm assuming that's what you mean. Lauren is finishing up my scrapbook scout. Karen is fussy cutting fall printables. Diana is working on library cards. This actually look really good together. What if I made what if I make it like this, like a grid? Grids are fun. I love grids. When in doubt, do a grid. They're really fun. They are easy. Everything's about fitting it into a space. I have this fun little stack of the cards from an actual real library. These are like, you can tell these are all like typed. Origin and Development of Northeastern University. George Washington, the Journal of Major George Washington. William Styron. I feel like he's someone that we had to read him. William Styron. That last name sounds very familiar. Dandy Daly. Horse Angels. Horse Angels. Oh, this is not an old book. This says circa 2000. Recovery from alcoholism. This is so interesting, the collection of stuff that's in this, this random group of cards I bought on, what do you call it, on Etsy. Wealth Empowered America, Analysis of Social Class and Income Distribution, New York, Prager, 1962. These are actually, they're not stickers. They're like these little fun bits. Ooh, oh, very exciting. Look, Mark just brought these in. We got little Sculpey. Mark saw a craft that he was very excited by. So he wanted I don't know, there was like, if you got $50 worth, you got free shipping and some, I don't know, a discount. You got discount and free shipping. So the only time I've used Sculpey is I used it years ago, and then I used it to get to make hair for the mini-me's. So I wanted to make some little characters. So, but I told Mark he needs to make them with me. So we're gonna make some. But they just got delivered. So your question, Rachel, is you asked about these. So these came from an Etsy seller, and these are very precious. I don't use these very often. So they're like little bits of little papers that are like gathered together, and I think they're coffee stained or tea stained, and then they're stitched across the top. Now it would help if I knew the seller offhand. I believe this seller is the same one that I buy these from.
Fun Life on a Budget?
So try Fun Life on a Budget and see if you see this one. Because I've bought a bunch of, there's two sellers that I really love and I stock up on this style. And then there's another seller that I possibly got these from. So there's another one that makes these type of strips too. And I've had these for many years because I would say at least 3 years, because I hoard them rather than use them, and I use them sparingly, but these really sparingly. I should probably not do that, huh? I should probably use them. Look how fun that is though. I just love, when I get my sewing machine set up, I'm going to try to stitch stuff like this. I have the We Are Memory Keepers sewing machine. So like the one that does paper, and then I have my actual sewing machine. So into the cottage it shall go, and I'll have to import you, Justine, so you can show me. You have to reteach me how to use my sewing machine. It's been so long since I sewed anything. Also, I'm the worst sewer. I have such terrible habits. I'm super lazy about sewing, and I am one of those people that even though I try to be careful, I will sew like something I used to make all the time was pajama pants. I would make them for gifts and stuff at Christmas time. So I'd make them for like my dad, my daughter, my mom. It'd be like a thing I did because they're fairly easy, but I would do this terrible mistake. I would sew one leg inside out. So I would sew it the wrong inside out in the wrong direction. I would do this, and I'd undo all the stitches to try and fix it, and I would sew it exactly the same way over again. I cannot tell you how many times I do stuff like that. I'm terrible. I don't understand myself. And the older I get, the more it continues to happen. I fear for myself. What is going to happen in 20 years if I'm this bad? And I'm not talking about like now. I'm talking about this was like, I don't know, 20 years ago when I was doing stuff like that. So yes, I'm not if I'm a lazy crafter, I'm an even worse sewer, but I've sewn a lot of things. I'm a corner cutter and not in a good way. And it's a very uneven cut. Let me just put it that way. Let's see. Good night, Ellen. I probably missed that. Justine's sewing traveler notebook covers, and Lucy's working on embellishing her new planner. Annie's doing quilt pieces. I just noticed I caught those on just caught those little additions. Okay, so I'm going to add those and that. Ooh, how about that one? I don't know, that feels weird. It feels a little disrespectful to put the flag sideways for some reason. Okay, so what do I do here? Terry is gathering papers, ephemera, etc. to do a bon voyage passport. That sounds fun. I'm glad that you are crafting, Miss Terry.
Included a free tool, which you're going to love.
Ooh, that's nice. I love when people put free stuff in there. Hexagon mosaic cutters. Oh, it's for using to cut your little clay with. How fun. Okay, so how about, I guess it doesn't really make sense to do that unless it's attached to something. Okay, we'll leave that one out. See, this is when it starts to look like it's really flat. And this is why I think people do things like stamp it and they put like texture to it, try and like make it look more aged because it looks so weird and it looks too bright. It doesn't look aged that way. Ah, my goodness. Do I have stampy stuff? I do have stampy stuff. Where is my stamp stuff? I had it. Now, it seems to me that somebody may have moved my I move my stamps and I the culprit? Me? Could have been me. I could have been the one. This delicious fall paper. I'm really excited to use this paper, I gotta tell you. It's really funny when you look at something and you go, you know, in a different time, I don't know that I would have picked out those papers, you know, like sometimes you have to be in the mood when you do stuff. Woo. All right. Let me see if doing this helps. Does that help? Well, that's definitely, Sherry says the zigzag stitch on paper is extremely easy to do. I just make a bunch at one time, use different colored papers. That is the one thing I'm super interested in doing, is making a bunch of the little bunched paper strips, because I love them so much. I would definitely end up using them all up if it was up to me. They would be gone. What time are we at? We are at 7:30. Do you guys have fun plans? I am going to be working on the Happy Place Club, because I went from working on camp all the time to doing this. So I am going to get that all prepped and get the little kit done, and then that is my big goal. And then I didn't realize this was a card I used as like a stamp tester. And then figure out how to get this cottage project underway. Okay. So I got some ephemera, the reproduction type. I wish it didn't have like shine to it, but beggars cannot be choosers. That one's going to be a little too stiff, I think. That one's smaller. I'm really, really excited to get crafty again and be in a new little craft space and start making workshops and all of that. Like, that just feels like so long I have been waiting. Okay, so this is real ephemera. This is real stuff. They're real photos. Boy, what a difference when you have like the real stuff versus, ooh, canceled checks. Bobby Phillips. 1963. In 1963, he wrote out a check for $20 to the North Park Baptist Church. In 1963, $20. That's not chump change. That's a lot of money in 1963. That's a lot. $35 to Publix. Evelyn Phillips. I don't know. Was Mr. Phillips kind of a baller? Because my parents told me how much their rent was when they got married. And that was at the end of the 60s. My mom, like, I remember when I was a little girl and I was going through her, like, my mom kept all her canceled checks and all of her pay stubs and all that kind of stuff. She was like very much like would hold on to like paper stuff. I really wish she had kept it. I don't know why I know why, because you don't think about that kind of stuff when you're a kid. But I remember looking through some of that stuff, like even as a teenager, even as I got older, and looking at some of it and just being like amazed at how cheap everything was. Like how is everything so cheap back then? But you don't think about obviously how much people made also was adjusted, but still. October 13th, 1968, Larry decided there was nothing better than a haunted house for helping him overcome his fears. And it's a little pamphlet. I have a feeling this is something he got. Somebody handed this to him in his little trick-or-treat bag. That was probably something somebody in the neighborhood handed him instead of candy. Oh, Rachel says, I still have the glue sticks you recommended ages ago. It's in that triangular shape. Yeah, it's the Ranger glue sticks. I had to stop buying those because they were getting harder and harder to buy. They were so expensive. At this point, they've become so expensive. I can't find them at just like a regular price. That I had to give up on them. This one is from Mrs. H.J. Fuller. I'm pretty sure that says Fuller. Carrie, did you hear me? This is from Carson Price Scott & Co. Peoria, Illinois. $9. Isn't this interesting? See, one day your stuff could end up in some woman's craft stash. All your receipts. Isn't that funny to think about? This is funny to think about. That Mrs. H looks like a T or a J Fuller, 1627 Maine. Here, I'll keep this for you, Carrie. I'll set that one aside for you. But I mean, this is obviously what it was. Is somebody's like deceased parent, had a bunch of stuff in their in their house, and they just sold all this stuff at an estate sale. And of course, people like us come by and we're like, yes, we want all the ephemera. But yes, this could be you if you hold on to all your stuff. This is amazing, though. 1964, and this is $35. I mean, this is a lot of money in 1964. Again, Bobby Phillips. Wow. Smyrna, Georgia, B.C. Phillips. This is the warranty. Jim Clay Ford. He's getting his car serviced with this huge. Do you I would ever think about crafting with like Ford dealership paperwork? This doesn't look as old and ancient. This looks pretty current. This doesn't look old. This looks like, you can tell by the handwriting. Isn't it funny? This does not look like, I don't know. This doesn't look like a older one. This handwriting looks more current to me. I could be wrong. I don't know. I'll have to look closer at that one. On first glance, it doesn't look like old stuff, but it would be weird if it was newer because look at the stuff it's with. So this is September 1961, and it's $29 balance. Payment now due, $5. This is on a jeweler's. And here's those little stamps. It's so interesting. Ooh, a wedding. No, this is not a wedding. 5th annual banquet. It's a banquet in 1931. Here's their menu. They had at their banquet. Olives, celery, and pickles, roast pork, dressing, and applesauce. Franconia potatoes, scalloped tomatoes. Doesn't that sound like they should be switched? Scalloped potatoes and Franconia tomatoes. Gelatine, fruit salad, Parker House rolls. Oh, the best rolls are Parker House rolls. Ice cream, wafers, and coffee. A wish for your birthday. March 18th, 1937. Yeah, whoever this was, they held on to a lot of their stuff. They held on to it for a long time. And then it was all ditched. Someone ditched it. Someone held on to everything in their life, and then their kids came along and said, just get rid of all this crap. We don't need this. Mom or dad, they were pack rats. That's the feeling I get when that's how this stuff ends up somewhere, is that the kids of these people end up saying these were a bunch of pack rats. And see BC Phillips that he got a letter from somebody in the military. So he got a letter from somebody who was in 1968. So somebody who was in Vietnam. It's kind of fun looking through all this. Snyder's Furniture Store. Sherry, are you near Gratz, PA? Are you near Snyder's Furniture Store? Is that still around? March 63, August 60. Rachel says, I found one of my grandfather's pay stubs. It was from when he was a mechanic at Ford dealership, and it was from 1962, and the check for a week was $167. Melanie says, yes, I have my grandparents' checks and paper stuff, but can't bring myself to use them. I can imagine that feels different because you know, once you've used it, it feels like that's it. Okay, well, I'm going to put that aside for my cuz. And we'll see. You don't think so? Okay. Hi, Misty. Good to see your little face. Okay. Got some of these and just some randomy. Randomy stuff here. What is this one? Statement of taxes. This is from 1938 to 39. Total due $122. Wow, that's a lot too. So this is property tax, and the valuation of their property was about $5,000. And so they owed $121 on their property. 1939. This is all written out in pencil on here. Wow. That feels weird. Here's Florence, South Carolina. Do you guys ever buy random ephemera online? Have you ever found cool stuff? I feel like a lot of times when I've gotten it, I haven't been super thorough and looking through it really carefully. I do tend to not break it. I don't break it down and go through all of it like I'm doing so carefully right now. I put this aside for Betsy, but I never got a chance to give that to her. Go back 3 spaces. That will be fun. I'm going to put that one aside to use for now. Oh, and then these are the slides from the Kodak slides. I thought that would be fun to craft with, especially breaking apart the little frame. I love that card. I'm going to keep these together. These ones are so cute. I remember I've had these so long in this bag. I've never used them. I pulled these out for camp thinking I would try to use them, and I did not. Okay, look how cute these are. Aren't those adorable? She's adorbs. Those are the 2 little girls on here. Do you remember this little style of illustration? Don't look at my cards. That was the card on top. Mark Speaker. Okay. All right, I'm going to use Miss Audrey. Okay, before I tape her down, I should probably... Hey, Michelle Massey. She said you get better stuff than I ever get. Yeah, you know, it's always a bit of a, uh, what is that? Like a hit or miss about what's going to happen when you get your package, you know, like you don't know what they're gonna include. I definitely know what you mean. I got this pack a long time ago, and then this one was about like food products. You know, like if you bought the package, it was all about things that were clipped out of magazines. You know, I should probably put together little packages like this because I love fussy cutting. And I thought, to me, when I got it, I was like, is this awesome though? What am I going to do with some of these? So I totally feel what you're saying. I would say that this one right here, this one was kind of, I felt like this one was a bit of a disappointment because I really wasn't feeling like, I think the best thing in this particular pack was this. I love this little barbecue sauce bottle. But everything else I felt was kind of lame. Maybe I'll use this banana. It doesn't really fit in this one, but I try to avoid the random ephemera packs. I try to be like buy really specific ones. And then when you find a seller that you really like, then that's a really good one to return to because then you know they've got good stuff. Like Katie at the Paper Basket, when I got my first stuff from her, I was like, oh yes, I really love her store. I love how she packages her stuff. Oh, this pen is doing really good. It's like very liquidy and it's coming out really good. I could probably make this fit in here better if I cut off the bottom of the banana. And here's this like weird random barbecue sauce bottle in my book. I know I don't like using photocopies of things. I like the original. So like if I buy ephemera, I don't generally copy it. I just use it. I don't want to have copies. I want to use the real thing because it just doesn't feel the same when it's a copy. It's like to me, the whole point of buying it is to like see the texture and to feel it, to see all that, like, you know, the grittiness, like the realness of it. And then to me, it's like, then you're just hoarding the stuff, just like the person who had it did. You're a double hoarder. I'm trying to find something to put on here. Ooh, I have a little mystery cat. Let me see if these are two. Let me see. I have these little mystery mask. I don't know if these are two. think that is glued down enough. I'm trying to decide. I kind of want to write something on her, like write on her shirt. I'm afraid. Do I have something I can tape to her shirt? Or glue on her shirt? Or, ooh, I know what I can do. How about if I stamp on her shirt? I have white ink. Ooh, that'll be scary. Okay, all right. I wish I had the stamps that I've ordered. I ordered a bunch of new stamps, which is kind of funny because I don't really use a lot of stamps, but I did pull the trigger and get some. Okay, what could I do with here? Do I have a stampy thing? What do you call that? Like a little, the blender? Do I have one of those? I feel like I do, but do I have them handy? I'm sure I don't. I'm sure they're somewhere buried. This is exactly why you're supposed to have those. For this exact moment, I could give her a totally cool little starry little shirt. All right, I guess I'm gonna have to. I could. That's true. All right, I'm gonna do it. Misty says. And again, if I mess up, then it's Misty's fault. Misty says, okay, I take full responsibility. She didn't really say full responsibility. She said, okay. No, I have never done this before. All right. There's my agreement. There's my legal bond that I got from her. So here's my question. Should I just hold it down and do it, or should I tape it down? Oh goodness. Oh. Oh my Lanta. Oh, so scary. Feel like a real crafter right now. All right, good call, Misty. Good call. I actually with the finger, I can feel, I can press in a way that I can get it really in there. All right. I guess you know what you're talking about. I told you guys that you know stuff that I don't know. You know why? Because I don't experiment. But that's gonna change. 2026 is my year. I'm gonna be teaching workshops with all my new skills. And then, and do that thing that everyone does where you put your twist on it. There's so many things I've always wanted to know how to do. And if I just, knew how to do it, I'd be like, look at me. Look at all my super skills. Thanks, Sherry. Look at me, you guys. I'm doing little white stars. feel like I'm tempting fate doing it right there. This paper that this is printed on, I think is like photo paper. So I feel like it's kind of in a weird way, it's sort of it's absorbing it's like kind of absorbing the ink. That's super cool. She looks super mysterioso. All right. I know that the pen is like, there we go. Maybe we'll like it now. Okay. Thank you. It is very cool. Yes. Thank you very much. Now, I just need, what am I thinking of? I'm trying to find my markers. When I was doing my honeys, my Dress the Honeys, just a reminder to sign up for my newsletter, which you can do at the Cozy Cafe. Sorry, that's not true. trg.cafe. I have no idea. No idea. I have no idea. Okay, I have a feeling that is going to be too dark, so I have to stop. Stop right where you are. Stop with that. And where's my other brush pen? Where's my brush pen? I just feel like I'm gonna regret that. Where? I'm sitting here trying to think. I have another type of pen, and I'm trying to think. What am I thinking of? What is the pen I'm trying to formulate in my head? Thank you. Thanks, honey. trg.cafe. That is correct. That's the right one. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure it out here. Maybe I could use a pencil. I don't remember what shade this is. Nope, that is too dark. The pen I'm thinking of is more like a wash. It's not going to make it solid, and that pen is going to make it solid. So I have no idea what my brain is trying to formulate right now. Like, what am I missing? So I need to do something for the background. I just can't figure out what. What does it need to have on the background? Let's see. Do I have a wipe? What if this was on the background and I feel like I wanted to do something like a pattern behind her or something. It just feels like this is a little too plain or something, but maybe I shouldn't rush it. Maybe I should sit with it because I don't want to, I want it to be like awesome sauce. I don't want it to be rushing the process because that's like really cool. I really like it. That little mask sticker turned out to be the perfect size for her. She's mysterious. So I'm gonna save her, and we shall revisit Audrey and see if I can figure this out. Because maybe I make a background with this in black behind her, or maybe something else. Maybe it's words or something, or maybe something entirely different that I haven't thought about. All right, it is 8 o'clock. It is time. It is that hour. It is the hour of which it is time for all of us to go to bed. I'm putting you to bed. Thank you so much for joining me. And I hope that, Misty, since you came in late, you could watch the little tour I gave. It was a little mini tour, as a little mini showing everyone the new the entrance of the new Clubhouse, which is called the Happy Place Club. I'm going to be kicking off our new season content, the new Happy Place Club, and all of it. We're going to be the new everything. October 1st-ish. Do you hear that? October 1st-ish. The ish is super important. So I'm hoping that we're going to be embarking on this really fun collective adventure of having this fun, cozy, practical, yet creative project, to work on, and, to just that's not even a good word, but like, to craft up, to do. It was, and you too, Diana, it was good to see your little face. Thank you for joining. A Commonplace book can be a really fun place to just continue to add to over time. So you can make it, and then you're just sort of adding to it over time. And I think finding that like really simple recipe for it, that simple formula, if a lot of us can tell that what kind of season you're in, if this is kind of a busy time, there's a different way of doing your Commonplace book that might be like a simpler version, a messy version, an experiment version, like I talked about, is like, what is a good fit for you? If you're just like, I just want to try it out and see like what works for me, then try the messy version, where I'm just going to experiment and try things. And that way you can just write things on different scraps and just punch it and throw it into your book, into your binder, try different types of paper and toss it in there. Exactly, Elsa. It is the ish is what's important. Exactly. So I hope that you guys have a wonderful weekend. I moved our late night here to this weekend because I wouldn't be available next weekend. We are hopefully we're making a quick trip down to California for a wedding, and then I shall be back. So I actually won't be around for like my little debut. That's a little bit awkward. But I will be sending out a newsletter to my entire newsletter list to say, hey, the Happy Place Club is open, and sending out all the details. I will send out the details about the Crafty Girl Play Kit when it is available. That is where the whole Commonplace book project will be packaged. It's part of that little kit. It's very simple. Okay. It's very simple. Usually with the Reset Girl stuff, I'm like, woo, making everything all big and fancy, but it is not. It is designed to be simple. It's going to be very simple, sleek and simple. I'm setting the expectation right now, sleek and simple, because that's the kind of attitude I want you to have about this. This is like an easy breezy kind of thing. And it's going to be just like, ooh, low, just, what am I trying to say? It's like more of a low effort kind of thing, an easy, simple, just, hey, this is really fun kind of project, just real light. So I will be back in 2 weeks for another Late Night Crafty Club. So by then, hopefully, we'll all be caught up with all my releasing, and we'll be here doing hopefully some form or version of a Crafty Commonplace something, because I'm going to have a hard time keeping all these new titles straight. So show up, whether or not you want to do a Commonplace book, whether or not you want to be in the membership or not, just no matter what, just show up, because this is the one place that we can collect. And it's just fun to show up and hang out, no matter what you feel like doing. I just want to see your little face. So you guys have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you in 2 weeks. I love your little face. Be safe. I love you, and I'll see you very soon. Bye, everybody.
Gather round, it's Friday night. Time for crafts and pure delight. Paper, scissors, let's get started. With vintage tape, we'll be wholehearted. Every honey deserves her day in the sun. With enamel dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. Glue sticks ready, let's make a plan. Planners in the office, supplies in hand. Honey half-season wins the arrows. Crafting magic like true heroes. Every honey deserves her day in the sun. With enamel dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. Let's create a scene. Join the club where we live our dreams. So grab your scissors and come along. Together we'll craft and sing our song. Every honey deserves her day in the sun. With enamel dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. It's all for you. Slip into jammies, grab something to sip. Stickers and golden scissors, let's take a crafty trip. The playbook's open with listers, got a list. In this crafty paradise, our dreams coexist. Every honey deserves her day in the sun. With enamel dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. It's all for you. Cards and pockets display our creativity. 32-pound paper, so smooth and buttery. Scrapture cards help your ideas flow. What will you make during the late night crafty show? Hearts and pockets display our creativity. 32-pound paper, so smooth and buttery. Scrapture cards help your ideas flow. What will you make during the late night crafty show? It's all for you.